G'day guys, Smith City here for Smith City Product Review as well. I'm reviewing some medication. I had a partially blocked ear. I tried to clean out with some ear swabs, which is probably not a great idea. It wasn't too bad after doing that. Felt like a little bit sort of, strange in the ear. So I went and got some Clean, thinking that, that'll just wash out the rest of the wax and I'll be fine. That's created a lot of pain and discomfort within my left ear. I had a doctor's appointment this morning at 7:10 in the morning, and the doctor basically just said, normal ear canal is like this, and then on each side there's inflammation, or like it's just restricted. Yeah, that's the word he used, restricted. And he can't even get like the ear look actually through where he needs to actually see what's going on. And so I can't hear anything out of this. Apparently I've got the same issue through here. There obviously just probably isn't a wax build up behind that issue, hence why I can still hear. And so I'm just going to review Autodex Framigeton sulfate ear drops. So we'll see what we have to do. And then I've got Waxol to put in afterwards, and the doctor said it has to go in this order. So this first, and then the Waxol second. And it's going to be in both ears. And so my balance is probably going to be off. I'm probably just going to be resting on the couch for most of the day. So I'll put this in, and then I can talk a little bit about my mental health. I'll make this sort of a mental health video as well. Just to sort of let you know how I've been going, what I've been doing to sort of manage my stress and anxiety, some things that I'm sort of enjoying, and things that I'm sort of helping myself process and move forward in a direction that I want to. So anyway, there's a little clip there. Peel that back off. All right. So here we go. Instill 2 drops to the affected area. Oh, I don't want to do it, but I know I have to. 1, 2. Comes out a lot easier than the ear relief stuff that I had. So I'm just gonna let that go in. Obviously I need to do the other ear, but I don't want to do it too soon. I wonder if I should put squeeze, drops, replace cap. It doesn't say anything about putting like a cotton bud in your ear or something like that. I want to do the other ear, but maybe I'll have to wait a while. So I might wait, I might come back to do the other ear. Still feels pretty liquidy, so it hasn't like sort of, like I feel like if I tilt my head back, it's just going to come out my ear. Ooh, just felt it do something then. It's a bit weird. So the Waxol ear drops, tilt your head, leave overnight, repeat the next day. So there it is, Waxol, Waxol, wax off. That was a pretty bad Karate Kid reference there. Alright, it is coming out my ear, guys. Alright, but same, how many drops this is. Tilt head and fill the affected ear canal with Waxol. Doesn't say how many drops. I think the pharmacist said 4 or 5, so we'll just see how we go. Ooh, what happened there? I haven't put anything in, but I'm feeling that stuff, that the proper stuff is actually doing something to my ear. Whoops, it's not even in my ear. So I think I'll come back and do the other side after a little bit. I think, yeah, if I tilt my head the other way, all that shit's going to come out of my ear, and then it's going to be kind of rendered useless. So I might come back in a little while. I'm in the wars as well. I changed over my piercing. Piercing, and it's sort of, should wash my hands, and it's forming a little bit of an ulcer. So whilst we're there, I'm going to put some SM33 on that spot. All right, so my mental health is slowly improving. I literally have only had half a diazepam in like the last week and a bit, which was like midway through last week. I think I've still got five of the 10 tablets. I didn't really want to start like relying on them to relying on those things, or to take them to numb everything, or not to feel, or whatever. I started using them to sort of bring my anxieties from a 10 down to 6 and 5, and sort of they've been fluctuating between 5 and 8 this whole time. Ooh. When I've got hiccups or some like internal burps and stuff, it is sending a pain into that ear canal area. And so things that I'm actually doing most nights is meditating, lighting a candle for different reasons, sort of trying to connect spiritually like I normally do, for myself and for others. And I find that a very sort of grounding, relaxing, and sort of freeing experience. And then obviously going through the garage, well, my mum going through the garage whilst I was here the other week, is she started cleaning out the garage whilst I was there, of things that are obviously, still mine from growing up or whatever, and she wanted to know what she could throw out and what she didn't want to throw out, etc. And I came across 2 journals, one that my friend Loz, who I studied with in community service and youth work and drug and alcohol field, made a diary for me when we were doing community services back in our 20s. And I don't think I had even used it at all. It obviously had the stuff she created, the front page, like the front page on the inside of the diary had something that she wrote out for me, and then nothing written in there. Obviously, I found it very tough to write or journal or write anything really for quite a while growing up, through my sexual abuse. 7 years, from 7 to the ages of 14, and then the abuse that continued, and the manipulation and the games and stuff that continued long after that abuse stopped, is that it was very challenging to focus at school. And whilst we had to write essays and do exams and stuff like that, is I used to struggle with writing, grammar, punctuation, all that sort of stuff. Even like writing stuff out for books that we read and stuff. I'd find sometimes I'd get it back and I'd have a really low grade or a poor score, or even like failed a particular thing, and you'd read it again and you go, yep, I can see why. Like, either I hadn't done any punctuation throughout the whole thing, or the whole thing was just one big sentence, or something that I used to do was write the word twice, or leave out words. And that was all to do with not being able to like fully focus, especially, from probably grade 5 to probably, year 8, when you probably do learn all about that stuff, is, my mind was elsewhere, not wanting to be at school, not wanting to be at home, etc., etc. So I've found very, very sort of learning for me in the last few years to sort of lean into journaling and writing, and also with my beer review write-ups on Instagram, and doing the write-ups for them, and trying to like see how sentences are constructed and how they make sense to other people, and then sitting back and actually like looking at how that actually reads before I actually hit send, and making it make sense. I'm basically, as an adult, having to relearn what I didn't learn growing up, and that's pretty cool in its sense as well. Like, anyone has the ability to better themselves in any aspect in life if you choose and you want to put the work in. And it can be tiring, it can be difficult. You can, like, internally yourself shame and guilt yourself through that process, which I know I've done, and I know many people do. Or you can have other people, places, and things doing that thing for you, which then perpetuates you to do the same thing when you're not around those particular people. But I digress. So I'm really loving getting into poetry at the moment, and it's not necessarily like I sit down and go, okay, I'm going to write about this subject matter, or I want it to look like this. I literally just sit there free within that experience, and I just allow my head to construct stuff, and I just write things down. And it really is something that I quite enjoy, and it's something that I'll continue to do. And it's also helping me process things, but it's also like helping me make sense of certain things. It's lowering my stress levels, and it's kind of putting me in a really nice calm state when I do that, which is something really, really positive. And so some things that I need to currently work on to keep my mental health moving in the direction that I want to is obviously quitting my plumbing job, and trying to build my PT business from the ground up after the pandemic, because I started my business in 2020, got to 9 clients. Then the pandemic happened and I went back to 1. I've got now all these expenditures. I was working full time. That was impacting my ability to get clientele when they wanted to actually train with me. I couldn't train them because of time factor and day factor. And obviously had a 7K loss within the last financial year with my business. And now that I don't have a full-time job, I need to find either a job that I can do a couple of hours in the morning, a couple of hours of an evening, and fit my PT stuff within that, or I need to probably find an agency that have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, afternoon, evening, night, or even like all day. An all-day shift is fine as well, to sort of net me about $600-700 a week to then fit that around my PT business, and also, keep me active and busy throughout each day. And you don't need to be a workaholic. You don't need to feel every single day trying to push and grind and hustle. Like, I've learned that the hard way. But there's also an element where I need to be ticking back over my finances, or I'm going to find myself in a spot of bother, which is also quite stressful within itself. Anyway, that's that year done. And the reason why I talk about this stuff, guys, it's not necessarily for me. Obviously, it's good to talk about it because it can help me continue to process other things. And when I'm talking about it is freeing because it's getting it out there. But also me sharing it is also for you guys as well. Like, if anyone watches this video and thinks they're different from everyone else, or someone grew up in some sort of an abusive scenario, and you struggle to write, just like I have in the past, is like that can be something, a connection of going, okay, that makes sense. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be so hard on myself that I don't know how to write, or like I was always a good reader. I like know the English language and I could write, but none of it made really much sense in school. Most of my English grades were pretty horrible, and that was just from a me and learning and abuse perspective, and that's just what happens sometimes. And so, anyway, I'll get on to the next year. It's going to be a long video, but that's okay. So. Oh, whoops, I have to pinch it from here, not the bottle. Oh, that went straight in. The other one struggled because I don't think it is as bad. Whew, that was weird. Get in there, stay in there. I will let that settle, and then I'll put the wax hole in there as well. Does it say how many times I have to do this? An affected area twice a day as directed. All right. So that's sort of settled enough, I think. I just hope this ear, after doing this, has the ability to hear like I was before I put this in, or else it's not going to be a fun day sitting on the couch with two blocked ears. Kind of feels like I'm talking underwater right now. All right, so the wax hole stuff. Another internal burp. Oh wow, that was cool. Cool. Yeah. Wow. That's fantastic. I can hear out of this here. This one I can't. So I think I'll just leave it there, guys. If you've got any questions about stuff that's going on for me, or you want to talk about your mental health, either on the comment section or privately, you can probably privately find me on my Instagram, which is the same handle, Smith City Product Reviews. If you want to keep it private, that's all good. But also understand, if you are going through things, you can find a way through them, as difficult as it is. And there is a process involved in that. And with anything, it's not about having more willpower or doing more work or doing extra stuff or like exhausting yourself or whatever. Trauma is stored within the body. And so it's about finding ways to regulate that. And when those are triggered, different people, based on their experiences and their own trauma, are going to behave or act or be certain ways within that until those actual things are healed. And I'm finding that myself with what's going on for me at the moment. And so, I'm loving poetry. I'm loving writing. I definitely need to find ways to start bringing in income again. And I'll just leave it there. Anyway, got an oversized jumper on. I'm about to go sit on the couch, put a blanket over me, and see how this year treats me in a little while. So anyway, catch ya.